my name's Jorb. I love gear. This is a little bit off the cuff, but I'm sitting here with the Buchla and Tiptop Audio dual oscillator 258t. You guessed it, it is a Buchla 258 in eurorack format, eurorack compatible size and power and voltages and all that good stuff. And I was just going to do a sort of first impressions feature run through, but that doesn't feel like me, does it? And so I'm going to sneak in a little bit of a lesson. So this is going to be not just about the 258t, it's going to be about controlling harmonics without a filter. You can hear me doing it right now. It kind of sounds like I'm working a filter, aren't I? But all I'm doing is manipulating the wave shape of the Buchla. So I'm going to tear out all of these cables, and you're going to watch me build the patch totally from nothing. And if I framed it correctly, my second camera will only have the modules that are in use. So I also have a couple filters and a delay. I'm not going to use those. You will also be hearing bits with the Empress reverb, which is not in camera. It sounds wonderful and is our bit of sauce today. So that's what we're going to do today. You're going to see all the features and hear a lot of the sounds of this Buchla and Tiptop 258t on our way to understanding how we can control its harmonics without a filter. Wonderful. I pre-ordered this from the fine folks at Perfect Circuit, and if you have an interest in doing that too, I have affiliate links below. You use that link to go to the website, and then that cookie remains in your browser. Whenever you get a purchase, I can get some sort of kickback. I'm going to tear out all my cables now so that we can start from nothing, and you can watch me build the patch entirely and learn everything you might learn along the way. If you are subscribed, thanks for coming back. If you aren't, I hope you consider it. I know probably a lot of you watching this for eurorack. I know a lot of you eurorack folk are not here already, so I encourage you to look at the rest of things on my channel, see what I have to say, and maybe you'll stick around. Okay, shall we begin? Boring things first. I send my pitch to this multiple, and we're going to start with just the top part of the 258t. And so there is my volt per octave coming from my pitch. I'm going to send the output to my oooo, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then I'm coming out of that first channel of the oooo to the in of my quad VCA. And I'm going out of that channel of the quad VCA all the way to my output. Okay? So we can see it's adjusting to my pitch. Hope that turns out good on camera. We don't hear anything yet. But if I bring up that channel of the VCA, we can hear it. I need to control that with an envelope, though. So let's go bring my gate out over here. Send that to the first channel of my Roland 540, which is a dual envelope. And let's control that first channel of my VCA with our envelope. Cool, and we're just going to start with that to show you a bunch of the features of the 258. Just let me turn off my glide. I'm going to change the O-tool over to my tuning mode and get us very finely to a C. This sucker is precise. Jump up 2 octaves. Does a pretty good job. Now we're down 4 from where we were, but 2 from the initial pitch. Very well calibrated. Our full range without our volt per octave is pretty dramatic. Let's bring that back in and find our tuner again. There we are. We also have a few FM inputs, so I'm going to bring that over from the LFO part of the 540 here. This is an attenuverter with a really, really, really dramatic range. Finding something subtle is a little difficult, but it's in there. We also have this FM input, which is not quite as dramatic as the 10 inverter. But still has a good amount of range. I'm going to unplug that. And a very exciting part of it, and a lot of what I'm going to talk about today, and probably why you're interested in it, it's got some pretty interesting wave shaping. So we go smoothly from a sine to a sawtooth on this top one, on this top half of the oscillator. Sounds pretty cool to me. Has a really pleasing in between, I think, as well. And the second oscillator is a little bit different. So to hear that, we're going to get that hooked into the volt per octave. And we need to get its output also hooked into the O-tool here. I'm going to change our mode to be dual. I'm going to send that output to the second channel, and I'm going to plug in my output into the second channel of the quad VCA. So we're hearing both. And I'm going to tune them to each other just by looking at the scope page here. And I'm going to unplug our first one. So our scope is now triggering on track 2. And its wave shaping goes from a sine kind of through a similar sawtooth, then up to a square. Sounds quite like a square to me. I'm gonna plug them both in. Get as close to 2 sawtooths as we very well might be able to. Turn on our reverb. Very cool, I think. Wonderful. And I would like a little bit of performance control because that's how I am. So, what have I got here? I'm going to take my aftertouch and bring it to a control voltage channel of my quad VCA. We're going to send that bipolar LFO from the 540 to that same channel. I'm going to send the output of that channel to a buffered multiple. And I'm going to send one each of those outputs to the FM inputs. And tune it to taste. Wonderful. I like that. Cool, that's all pretty clear. How about one more performance control? I'm going to take the output of the wheel and put that to the input for our wave shape. And you see there's my full range. Only gets me about halfway there. So I'm going to send that through channel A of the triplet, which if you aren't familiar, can be a voltage doubler. Get that into there. Turn on this switch for doubling. Bring it all the way up. And now on my mod wheel, I've got full control, or I've got control, excuse me, over the full range of the wave shape parameter. Which is wonderful, and you can probably already notice that it's starting to sound kind of like a filter. Pretty likely that I'd want an envelope to control my harmonics, right, with a filter. We're going to do that just with the wave shaping here today. So why don't we just take an envelope and do what I was just doing with our mod wheel. So this is our gate, if you remember from earlier. Now I'm running that to my second envelope. Positive output of that envelope to exactly where the mod wheel just was. I'm going to set up my amp envelope so we can hear everything. And that's all positive modulation. Not unlike a filter, right? Adding a little bit more. Wonderful. Doesn't sound exactly like a filter. But it's still doing the same idea. You're controlling your harmonics over time. And if you're all worried about space, maybe this is all you need to be convinced to not include a filter. Awesome. And I'm going to use an LFO as well. So I have right here 2 HP LFO. I'm going to put that into the second channel of my triplet. Bring that up. I'm going to speed it up. A little less of our envelope. Great. Let's bring the second oscillator again. I'm going to center now. And all those modulations we're adding to the point here on our wave shaping knob. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher. And we still have a static wave shape on the second oscillator. I could get lost in that for a long time, especially when I'm not focused. Great. Okay. So our harmonics are being controlled. Here in the Buchla 258t, we're controlling our harmonics with a envelope and an LFO, almost as if it were a filter, but it's just happening here in the very, very cool wave shaping. I'm trying to think if there's anything I hadn't quite showed you. I didn't show you this running as an LFO, actually, so why don't I do that? I'm going to run the output of our bottom oscillator I'm going to set our trigger back to oscillator 1 here. I'm going to turn the frequency way, way down. Oh God, am I getting an FM? But when you run it all the way down to the bottom half, 5 CPS, 5 cycles per second. Totally usable as an LFO. There you go. I really like the sound of this. I like the flexibility you get from those wave shaping options. I like that they're different as well. And as we saw earlier, you can kind of get a sort of sawtoothy thing. Whoops, I want that. And just like we saw earlier, you can kind of get a sort of sawtoothy thing even from the bottom oscillator, about halfway in between, more of a triangle, I suppose. All that to say, we have a very fascinating range. You know what? Me saying that out loud, they have different wave shaping makes me want to just listen to the second one. With our combination of our envelope and our LFO here. Cool, there you go. This was quick and off the cuff, but I was really enjoying sitting and just playing with this. So I thought, I might as well turn on the cameras. Really appreciate you watching more eurorack stuff. I find it very, very meditative to sit down and work out a patch and just play eurorack. Cool, I could just mess around forever, but that's all I'm going to show you. That is everything I wanted to show you. I'm a big fan of the 258t. It makes me think, it's really making me rethink what I consider to be my smallest viable voice, because this is 2 oscillators, or 1 oscillator, and 1 acting as an LFO, and the wave shaping makes me think maybe I don't even need a filter. For all applications, but Buchla and Tiptop made a great choice by putting these out. It's definitely a product line. It's definitely something people want, and I think they've executed it exactly the right way. It looks and feels the way I expected it to, and it sounds better and does a little bit more. So there you go. Thanks for watching. My name's been Jorb. I love gear. You should get one of these. They're really, really dope. Keep your eye out for more content. Always working on more. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Cheers, and so long.